So Matt Campbell gets an extension for Iowa State, and this makes perfect sense for two reasons. Number one, he's the winningest coach in program history that is fresh off an appearance in the Big 12 championship game. They were one game away, one Cameron Scadaboo away from going to the college football playoff. It's pretty good. Iowa State, 61% returning production. People like to talk about what they lost. Seems like they're keeping a pretty solid amount. There are a lot of programs in the country that would love to say, yeah, we're returning 61% of our production from last year along with our quarterback. Iowa State can say those things. So for the Cyclones to have one of the most veteran quarterbacks in the entire country in Rocco Becht, a guy who has thrown for over 3,000 yards in each of his first two starting seasons for Iowa State, that's a pretty good guy to have returning. For a head coach that has got serious program momentum right now, yeah, I understand throwing him a little extension, little raise. His salary's up to $5 million a year. He's extended through 2032. It makes sense to reward the success that he has had. Number two, why this makes some sense. And then I'll get to their record for this year, of course. And I've never gotten a record wrong, so this is just the way it's going to be. The number of programs that would try to hire Matt Campbell, still could try to hire Matt Campbell from Iowa State, it's definitely not zero. He doesn't seem like a guy to me that would go after like the Florida job. Like, does Matt Campbell at Florida seem right to you? It doesn't. Matt Campbell, to me, if he were to take a step forward, if he were to leave Iowa State one day, to me, he seems more like a Big Ten coach. He's not always super flashy. He's at a program that has to fly under the radar and work hard. Like, I'm not saying he would do this or even that he should, quite frankly, because I think this would be one of the toughest jobs in the country. Would it shock you if Matt Campbell became the head coach at Maryland if Mike Locksley gets fired after this year? That's an if. Mike Locksley could surprise some people. He's not an incompetent coach. He's just got a really tough conference and a roster that we don't really know about and quarterback questions, all that sort of stuff. Matt Campbell at Maryland, I can maybe see that. Or if, somehow Jonathan Smith left Michigan State one day. Here, let me throw this coaching domino at you. The Florida job comes open because Napier struggles. Florida hires Jed Fish from Washington, a Florida grad. The Washington job is open. Jonathan Smith decides he wants to go back west, which is where he's from originally, Oregon State grad, to a place he was once the offensive coordinator. He goes to Washington, Matt Campbell to Michigan State. Could see it. Or Matt Campbell to Washington. Washington's a higher ceiling job than Iowa State. So I'm just that's a feel thing for me. I don't know that I ever see Matt Campbell in the SEC, but I do like him right where he's at. The NFL's poked around on him before. I don't know if that door ever seriously opens. So off an extension, do I think he lives up to it? I do. Because again, kind of like the schedule here. 7.5 is their win total according to our friends at FanDuel. I'm taking the over. Now, I love Kansas State, who I think makes the Big 12 championship game this year. I think Kansas State will beat them in that game that on August 23rd. Do you realize we're less than 20 days away from Farmageddon, the first legitimate and highly impactful college football game of the year? That's a Big 12 conference game. Iowa State, Kansas State, and we get it on August 23rd. I can't wait to react to that game. I think Iowa State is going to start the season 0-1. That's not because I don't like him. I just love Kansas State. South Dakota, Iowa at home. I will take the Cyclones there over the Hawkeyes, if not just for the quarterback difference. I'm lukewarm on Mark Gronowski. Nothing wrong with that. Solid quarterback play could do wonders for the Iowa offense. But you give me a good team with a good coach in a rivalry game at home. It was a crazy game last season, and Iowa State, I think, gets that job done. At Arkansas State, win. Arizona, win. At Cincinnati, upset loss. You have to throw these into the record prediction. Sometimes when I go through a team schedule and I'm trying to figure out where I think they're going to land record-wise, I think of it a bit a bit, not 1-to-1 like March Madness brackets. When you're going through your bracket in the first round, you can't just pick all chalk, right? Got to pick a 12 seed. Maybe you're picking 2. Historically, in the last 5 years or so, picking a 13 seed's a solid bet. You better split the 11-6 matchups. That's usually how they fall. There was a lot of chalk in this year's March Madness bracket, of course, but this is a college football program, so I'll keep it on the field for now and off the hardwood. When I go through these team schedules, it sounds crazy on paper, right? Losing at Cincinnati with a coach who might be on the hot seat sounds crazy. But if you're going to have a crazy upset, is it going to happen at home or is it going to happen on the road? Probably going to happen on the road. I wanted to pick a game like Colorado, but I mean, Caden Salter would be worked in there. Bottom line, 2 road games there. For Iowa State, I think they split. At Cincinnati, out Colorado. I'll take Cincinnati to pull a little bit of an upset there. They come back home for 2. BYU, Arizona State, I think those are both wins. Redemption game from the Big 12 title last season there in Arlington. I think Iowa State comes out razor sharp in focus. Got to avoid the look-ahead game there against BYU at home. But without Jake Retzlaff, I just can't trust BYU. I really can't. And, I mean, they could be okay. Kalani Sitake's worked a lot of magic last year. That magic ran out at the end of the season. They still went 11-2. Pretty darn good. But they had Jake Retzlaff, and I just struggle to get behind him. Now, where Iowa State picks up their third, and to me, their final loss of the year, following game at TCU. I am pretty bullish on TCU. Their defense has to improve because it was just not good enough last year. But if I did a Big 12 power rankings of quarterbacks, I'm trying to think of who I'd have above Josh Hoover. I'm a Rocco Becht, honestly, could be the answer, but I'm a huge Josh Hoover fan. I really am. And of all the quarterbacks that Iowa State will face this year, I think Josh Hoover could be the best one. I like Avery Johnson at Kansas State. I'll take Hoover. Fafita, I don't know if that's working with the coaching staff there. BYU, I don't know. Cincinnati, Colorado, no. Kansas at home, I think that's a win. I think they win at Oklahoma State. Cowboys don't know who they're starting. Kansas, they're Jalen Daniels still hanging around in college football. I do like him. I'm a Hoover guy personally. The quarterback, not the vacuum. So I like Iowa State over 7.5. I really do. I think they go 10-2 before they go 8-4. Returning to the Big 12 championship game, historically, not something that anybody should predict or expect. I don't, because I've got 3 Big 12 losses here on the schedule. But is 9-3 a good season there in Iowa State land? Yeah, if you're a Cyclone fan, you definitely take that. And if Matt Campbell off an extension and a little bit of a raise, it's nothing huge or dramatic. If off of that he goes 9-3, you feel pretty darn good. So I like the schedule. I like the over. I'm not taking them to return to the Big 12 championship game because that's going to be Texas Tech and Kansas State, obviously. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time. Until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.